the so-called European closeness. We have much less personal space in Europe than we have in the States because you guys have much more space than generally than here. So when I say come close, I mean come close to me. Come on. So this is a very, very famous street and very important street for the history of Berlin because there are a few things that are important. This building used to be a building where, before the Second World War, it was basically the Ministry of Finances, this building. After it was bombed, and how do we know that things are bombed? They have holes in them. They have holes in them, and not only that, but you see entire blocks missing. This is not missing, but when we were coming up the Friedrichstrasse, you saw that there were like entire blocks missing. Then you know that this entire block has been bombed. And because of money, because of lack of money, it was never again reconstructed. The Eastern Europeans could not afford to reconstruct anything. So basically they left them there as it is. Kann ich Sie helfen?
No.
Nein! Sie hören noch.
I'm Americana. It's been a university.
Okay.
It's been so few smart that they watch this house in the house. Your turn. Did you finish your story?
No, I didn't. In any case, so this house, after the fall of the Berliner Wall, it was occupied by, when we say occupied, we don't mean militarily occupied, but we mean that there were people...
No. Like you said, after the wall fell down, it was not military occupied. That means we had a lot of motherfuckers inside that didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then sometimes we have to say military. When we say military, they be telling me, excuse me, it's been next out. You're on the phone. It's next. Sorry. You was talking to
So,
me.
the thing is that when you see buildings like that, there were 3 total buildings like that in Berlin. Now we have only one, and now they're thinking of demolishing that as well. Let me go back and tell you the story because we were all distracted by the little piece of art. So basically, what happened is, the building was like that. During the communistic era, they didn't do anything with it. They couldn't find the money to subsidize a rebuild or a renovation. So basically the wall falls down in November 89, and then most of the left, the people that were politically left, and I don't mean communists, I mean theoretical people, philosophers that were more socialistic than not, plus poets, together with literature people, together with visual artists, like all of the creative mind of people who were against money, who were basically trying to be thought-provoking in their way of life and not somehow, I don't know, not fall into the trap of just making money and having no essence. This was at least their way of thinking. They occupied this house, 3 houses in Berlin. This is one of the 3, and they stayed in here and they started doing art. And they did art, and they were selling it for very low prices, and they had open doors. They still have open doors, and they do concerts every night, and basically it's a place where everybody can just go in and out without any kind of entrance, and either buy things that they make with their hands to finance their spirit and their way of, how they want to live their life. Also, in the last years, it has become also the place for homeless people to sleep, because this is open. Everybody can take a sleeping bag and in the cold nights of the Berliner winter sleep inside. And the building, it's called Tacheles. Tacheles is a Jewish word, so Jewish German, it's a Yiddish, it's a Jewish German word for let's talk about everything. When you speak without a reason or rhyme and you just blah, 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 blah. The Jewish term for this is Tacheles, and this building is called Tacheles exactly because it's a mixture of different arts, a mixture of different people, a mixture of political parties, philosophical political directions, and it's all together. And I know it looks worn down, but it stands, the symbol for it is really freedom of thinking and freedom of speech. And this is why Germans are really trying to keep it up, even like that, because the people that live in here, they want it like that. They don't want this to become another commercialized building. So as I said, there were 3, now it's only 1. And this is really one of the most important symbolisms of freedom of speech in Berlin. And you know that Berlin was the city where it all happened with Hitler and the National Socialists, and it really pains them until now to know that they were such victims by a political party, the National Socialistic, and that basically they paid for it so dearly and the rest of Europe paid for it so dearly. So, Oranienburger Straße is this main street. The buildings that are old, that you see which ones are old, are from the late 19th century. They are in the neoclassical style. And this also is a building of the 1860s, 1865, and then of course remodeled in the 1920s. If we continue on this street, we will end up on the left-hand side, like in a 2-minute walk, we will see the biggest synagogue, Jewish synagogue in Berlin. And the important thing, the important story about this synagogue is that on this Kristallnacht in 1938, the National Socialistic fanatics or aficionados, I don't know how you would call them, they started burning books in a square which is like a kilometer from here, and they started burning down the synagogues. They were trying to get rid of Jewish people. So what happened is, the story is that one German policeman who belonged to the National Socialistic Party started trying to stop them, basically his fellow comrades. And he called the fire brigade to come and basically wipe out, well, not wipe out, extinguish the fire. So basically it was one of them that was trying to prevent this from happening. This is the story, the little legend about it. And so this is why there is always a stone with his name on it, because they are still, up until now, think that he did belong to the National Socialistic Party, yet he wouldn't allow people to burn down things for no reason. Now, from now on, we are in the Jewish neighborhood, and that's why if you look on the street, every few meters, and until we end up our walking tour, you will see like golden tiles with names and dates on them, usually in front of front doors of buildings. You will see, I mean, I'm sure if you look down, you will see them. These are the names of the people that lived there, and especially for people that were then taken to concentration camps and then died. So after the end of the Second World War and after the wall falling down, the Senate of Berlin figured out who lived where, and as a memorial to them, do we say memorial or commemoration to them and to their fight and to their tragic life, they have those golden tiles in front of the doors. Let's continue this side so that you can see the synagogue which is on the left.